Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. We'll be discussing Ripple and XRP today, along with the rest of the cryptocurrency and financial markets. With that in mind, let's jump right in and begin with this tweet. Okay, so that's XRP 334. As prominent exchanges like Ripple and SEC battle go on the offensive, Binance has also joined the fray. I found it to be quite intriguing, to be honest. Thus, Meta Longman is making a bold move. In their federal court lawsuit against the SEC, Binance has taken the offensive. What's crazy about this is that significant players like Binance are joining Coinbase and Ripple in pushing back after being ignored for so long. A warm welcome indeed. All of these big people should be pushing back against the SEC, in my opinion, because the SEC's cases and motivations are completely baseless. All of these actions are part of a larger plot to destroy this sector. The defendants, represented by attorneys representing Binance, have filed a motion accusing the SEC of wrongdoing. This is a major instance of unethical behavior. Let me elaborate. To which Binance has responded by accusing the SEC false statements made outside of court that are intended to affect Binance US customers and could taint the jury pool are a violation of court regulations. Binance requested that the court mandate the SEC to follow all local procedural norms. Binance claims the SEC published a false news release suggesting it had received emergency relief following the entry of an order the parties had agreed to. 2. Client funds had been misappropriated, and 3. The injunction was necessary to safeguard investor funds. Binance claims that the SEC's attorneys were unable to produce evidence of asset diversion or commingling despite repeated questions from the judge. Binance claims the SEC broke both its own rules and those of the court. It is significant that Bill Maklukas and George Canellos, formerly of the SEC's Division of Enforcement, have signed on to these charges of wrongdoing. These attorneys' claims of unethical behavior will undoubtedly be heard across the SEC. In response, the SEC will come out strong. They'll claim it's not fair to say they flubbed it because they didn't concede anything in the press release, while Binance will say they're just being nitpicky. Binance's own post-hearing statements were unlawful, and b. they are entitled to rehash claims from their own complaint. In short, we've only barely scratched the surface. It's obvious that Binance is taking the offensive. Like with the Ripple case, Binance's legal team is warning the SEC that a battle is coming. The length of time this has been going on in the Ripple case is no secret to us. I can only fathom how much longer these cases will go on if they continue to include such back and forth. It's crazy that this huge battle is happening right now between the SEC and these exchanges. Moreover, can you guess what? Some extremely big companies are submitting these enormous ETFs. Then, at face value, everyone will applaud and point at these. BlackRock, Citadel, Deutsche Bank, Nasdaq, and other large financial institutions have all applied for Bitcoin ETFs. Stunning, right? Clearly, Adam Cochran is making an appearance. The cryptocurrency market has seen a slew of new entrants in the past week, including BlackRock, Citadel, Deutsche Bank, and Nasdaq. They intimidated people into not taking part so they could buy the coins at a discount. The future of cryptography has never been more obvious. And, of course, Charles Schwab and Fidelity as well. The irony of it all is that I have the same strategy, and I don't even know what the Bitcoin maxis are. Recently, we witnessed one of the biggest voices in Bitcoin, Max Keiser, slam XRP. The SEC is overreaching, but that won't stop them from eliminating XRP and all the other worthless cryptocurrencies save Bitcoin from circulation. This is, of course, off-limits. You have to adore these individuals. For the simple reason that nobody follows the law on Wall Street. Reduce funding for the wealthy and powerful. Brad Garlinghouse has been spending heavily to maintain his Ponzi scam, but the government and Jamie Dimon will not back down. It's not a question of whether, but when XRP will be devalued. And here's Johnny Deaton himself. To Joel Katz, aka David Schwartz and Belisarius 2020, he has an answer. However, the fact that many Bitcoin maxis consider themselves libertarians while simultaneously applauding or celebrating the SEC's enormous and outrageous overreach is incongruous. And yeah, like this is the main issue I see with many of these names, because for so long we have seen these Bitcoin maxes going out and targeting XRP. Please hear me out, I own XRP. In this market, I am also a holder of several coins. I'm not going to sit here and declare that Ethereum is useless because of its centralization and that everyone should dump their X and buy XRP instead. This is it. No, since I have no interest in doing so. I have no intention of diminishing the value of competing initiatives. In fact, I hope that all of these endeavors are fruitful and have a level playing field. They are afraid of these Bitcoin maximalists. They genuinely worry about technologies like XRP. Why do you think Bitcoin gets a pass when you compare it to XRP and official documentation from the IMF and other significant institutions? This is due to the fact that you can see Bitcoin won't be used in the contracts itself. For certain highly scalable financial use cases, this solution is not practical. The question is, what is XRP? And the moment that Bitcoin is replaced by another coin or project, it will be all over. Surely I could see through all that Bitcoin crap. For example, if I were considering investing in anything due to its scarcity, I might first check Q. It's practical. It's on par with the way central bankers see using cryptocurrency. The central bankers always come out on top. And as we observe the development of these Bitcoin ETFs, I believe that Bitcoin is gravitating toward greater centralization. To be honest, I have no idea who these Bitcoin megapooses are. Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETFs, are not beneficial to Bitcoin, therefore perhaps those who praise them are just pretending. The problem is that not everyone is thrilled to have the big boys joining the fray. Institutions are beginning to get involved. That it has been adopted by institutions is fantastic. Manipulation, if you will. Time travel begins here. BlackRock's CEO is among your ranks. Our monetary policy page had 3,000 visits, and our Bitcoin page received 600,000. Please hear me out. We received 3,000 hits on BlackRock, 3,000 on monetary policy, and 600,000 on Bitcoin alone on our website. This suggests that Bitcoin has successfully captured the interest of the public. It has piqued the interest of a lot of individuals. There is a lot of anticipation for it. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink explains why he thinks Bitcoin is so interesting. Bitcoin has gained widespread popularity, although the same person has been publicly criticizing it for some time. Also, consider this as an illustration. Time, October 3, 2017. Cryptocurrency has a strong advocate in BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. Try to predict what took place a few weeks later. On the 13th of October, 10 days later. Bitcoin, according to Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, is a measure of illicit funds. That's an intriguing fact. These developments followed CEO of JP Morgan Chase Jamie Dimon's recent criticism of Bitcoin owners as stupid. It's funny in a strange way. Then, come this way. Dated as of July 16, 2018. Consumers are uninterested. Cryptocurrency has BlackRock's CEO excited. That just doesn't make sense. As far as I can tell, there's a fair amount of curiosity about this. Then, we have this area as well. Look at this. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink is a vocal opponent of Bitcoin. Mark Weidman, a critic of cryptography, is available here. Take a look. Therefore, Larry Fink, cryptocurrency is not legal. One should report it on CNN or CCN. Bitcoin doesn't have any real value in Fink's eyes, thus he doesn't invest in it. He mentioned the market's anonymity and lack of regulation, as well as Bitcoin's wild price swings. The topic here is his planned introduction of a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund. We can see that there are times when I would not say never. Yes, eventually official support from a government will be required. That's really cool, huh? It's clear that Weidman, like many others, doesn't think there's much use for a Bitcoin ETF. He also said he would never recommend crypto to a customer as a long-term investment. A Bitcoin exchange-traded fund is confusing to me. I wouldn't advise using Bitcoin if it become popular. But if it were successful, why would an ETF be necessary to have exposure to it? These claims are being made by major players, if you will. But why the shift now? Is Bitcoin now under governmental control? You dig this situation, right? But yeah, it seems very obvious that these ETFs are launching now, or at least that a lot of the big firms like BlackRock are applying for an ETF to monopolize the market and corner it. They intend to drive people away from Bitcoin by increasing its price, or at the very least, they aim to lure investors into Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETFs, that are likely to fail. So, let me explain what I mean. As an illustration, the SEC has just approved the first leveraged Bitcoin ETF. This is the Futures Exchange Traded Fund. Please clarify this for me. The Securities and Exchange Commission, whose mission is to safeguard individual investors. The first Bitcoin Futures Exchange Traded Fund with leverage has been given the green light. Take a look. The SEC has given its clearance to the purchase of a 2x leveraged CME Futures ETF. But Bitcoin ETF is too much of a gamble there. Interesting. Never promote a spot ETF. Promote an exchange-traded fund that invests in futures. What's the reason, you ask? Because many people will lose a lot of money and point to this as evidence that investing in cryptocurrency is hazardous. It's risky enough that you might blow your entire investment. That's how the story goes, anyway. Similar market manipulation strategies have been used in the past, and this is just another one. This is a serious issue. The stakes are high here. And do you realize what? The extent to which the SEC is corrupt is also discussed at length. They are not qualified for this position. They have no business being involved in this industry. It's hilarious that Bitcoin maximalists are trashing other cryptocurrencies and initiatives, like XRP, and hoping they fail by labeling them as Ponzi schemes. And yet, they are cheering the introduction of Bitcoin ETFs by these monopolistic financial institutions. It's beyond my comprehension. Why should only centralized firms offer Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, ETFs? Why? Because they want to monopolize the industry. Nothing more than that. These markets will be manipulated in the same way the stock market is. These individuals have a stranglehold on Wall Street. Unfortunately, this won't be an exception. Finally, I wish you all a good time watching this film. Please leave a like and turn on notifications if you enjoyed this video. Bye.